Hey, Randy.
Hi.
So we've been wanting to do this video, talk about why we got into the HempWorks business and why we started using the CBD oil for ourselves.
Right.
Anyway, so we're finally going to sit down and do it. So my recollection is that you started looking into it because of Georgia. You, and maybe a little bit more than that. But tell me how you started with it.
Right. Well, I first heard about it. There were actually, my daughter who went on this trip out west and ran into some people, and I heard through them that they were utilizing and selling some kind of hemp products. So, being my daughter, that kind of alarmed me. I thought, well, what is she into? What is this hemp? So I started looking into it because of that, and then I found that it can help Georgia, our dog,
Our black lab.
She's a little bit lame, and I found out a lot of amazing things about it. To be honest with you, I was shocked.
Yeah. I remember you spent hours on your iPad and on the laptop just watching video after video and really doing your research before you came to me and said, you know what, I think I found something that I believe in, that I think it's worth us taking a look at. So what was some of the things that you that kind of brought you to that decision?
Well, first of all, I would say this, that I had no intentions of getting into anything.
True.
I just thought, this is amazing, and the more I kept reading and researching, the more it was obvious to me that this stuff was more than just, some hippie type thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That it had some incredible medicinal values or supplemental values, whatever the terminology is. So, the fact that it has, all these healing properties was amazing to me. I mean, back in the day, actually it was 19 years ago today, I stopped using the marijuana portion of the plant, as well as everything else. But so it's been a while. But so I knew, about the stuff. But I think the biggest thing is that I was amazed at how many people it was helping.
Yeah.
And I wasn't really aware of that. And it was helping people without the THC. It's a whole different thing. It's the CBDs and all the different cannabinoids that are in the hemp plant. Okay, that are helping people. So that's what kind of got me going on it.
Okay. So explain that to me a little bit. Like, if I'm somebody that has never heard of this, tell me what it is and why I should use it.
Well, basically, it's the hemp portion. It's a hemp plant. Okay, it's a sister to the marijuana plant. It has very, very negligible amounts of THC. In order to be industrial hemp, in order to be able to be legal to be used and sold in all 50 states, it has to have less than 0.3% THC by dry weight. So these companies have figured out a way to do that, and they process the plant in many different ways. And what happens is there's all these things, and they're called cannabinoids. There's you hear anywhere from 80 to 120, I've heard even higher. But all these cannabinoids are helpful to the human body. See, the human body, most anything with a vertebrae, has an endocannabinoid system already in us. There's already receptors in our body. Okay, there's two main cannabinoids, I guess you would call them, in the human body. You have your anandamide and what is called 2-AG, and they call it 2-AG because it's too hard to pronounce. It's something 2-AA glycerol.
Gotcha.
So you already have the receptors built in. So, apparently somewhere, along the line, thousands of years ago, we were already utilizing these cannabinoids. So now you reintroduce them back into the body, and it creates like a homeostasis type of a situation.
Hey, pardon the dog interruption.
Yeah.
Settle down, guys.
The cat ran through the room.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so we have these. What the product is supposed to do, or what the CBD in general is supposed to do. CBD in general is supposed to do, is help create homeostasis in our bodies.
Correct.
Okay, because we all know homeostasis is kind of like what makes things, help me out here.
Balanced.
Balance.
That's
yes.
really it.
Thank you.
You know, but it's a CBD. So CBD is one of the cannabinoids. So the CBD is cannabidiol is what it is. It's referred to as CBD. And a lot of the other cannabinoids have a lot of healing powers. You know, I don't want to say healing powers, but you know, the ability to help. Like for instance, you know, it's like Mother Nature's greatest anti-inflammatory. And usually what happens is when somebody's in pain or chronic pain, it's generally the inflammation that's causing the pain in the joints and stuff. So if you can take something that will take away the inflammation, generally the pain will follow, right? So that's one of the things that it's well known for. It's known for, you know, treating seizures in kids and anxiety and depression, PTSD,
Arthritis.
Fibromyalgia. It goes on and on and on. I'm not just making this up. I mean, I've read hundreds, thousands of stories online about people that are using it and have been using it for years now. You know, in either the THC, you know, portion of it, because that also has a lot of good properties as well. But there's this other side.
So that would be more like medical marijuana.
Yeah, exactly.
And this is not anything like that.
Right, because it has a negligible amounts of THC in it.
So you don't need a prescription for it.
Correct.
You can't be arrested for using it.
Correct.
It's legal in 50 states.
Correct.
Okay. So I remember when you were doing all this research, and you know, I've lived with you for a while, and I was very skeptical about the whole thing.
Very skeptical.
But we went ahead and got some.
We did.
And you started using it. Show the one that you're using.
This one here is mine. Ours. It's from a company called HempWorks. Okay? And I show that because I love the name HempWorks. And that's why they named it HempWorks, because it does work. Okay?
So when we started using it, I'm not sure that either one of us had any real expectations. There wasn't anything specific that we were trying to accomplish.
Here's the thing. Because I had no idea. Because I don't have aches and pains. I don't have chronic illnesses or anything that I was aware of. I mean, I have a couple of things going on, but so it was hard for me to judge to see any physical, you know, manifestation of what it was going to do.
Right.
Same with you, right? So we began to take it just because we heard it was so good and it would help us and it would mellow us out. And you know, I have some little nervous, little ticky things I do, and you know,
practically has OCD.
On the verge. So that was the whole thing of it. So we started it almost a month ago. It's been 3.5 weeks.
No, it's been longer than that.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah, all right. It's been longer than that.
Oh, okay. All right. So, but anyway, go ahead.
So the first thing that we noticed, I know for you, you have a long, like 30-year, maybe more history of issues with what most people would call IBS.
Right. Yeah, most of my adult life, I have struggled with, I guess IBS or some form of that, right? So.
And it's okay. We're gonna talk about poop, and it's gonna be a little bit funny.
So,
everybody poops.
Right.
The old kids book.
Yeah. So here's the thing. Anyone that knows me knows this process. People I work with, family, you know, friends. It's always been a struggle. It would literally have to plan out my day whenever I was going to do something. When I used to go from Binghamton to Syracuse to get my kids, I knew every bathroom on every route because I was always in fear that I would have to get there as soon as possible. So like if I was going to go golfing on a Saturday morning, I'd stop eating Friday night and prepare myself.
Right.
Go golfing early in the day. Okay, a couple times I messed up, had a couple of issues. It was so pervasive that, you know, I guess the best way to so you can understand the issue that I had was that about 10 years ago, I took my kids and we went down to Disneyland. And this was the greatest thing in the world. I'd never been there. So bottom line is I prepared myself the best I thought I could. We're going to be in there all day. You know, I knew I was going to get hungry through the day or whatever. But so we get there, and then there's a lot of traffic coming into the entrance to this to Disneyland. This is down in Orlando. So I started getting nervous. Oh man, I got to get in there, because I was starting to feel it, right? And the more you start to obsess about it, the more you get nervous.
It's anxiety,
about it, right?
That's what it boils
Yeah.
down to.
So bottom line is, I started looking around immediately. Everywhere I go, I'm on the look for public restrooms. So we get in there, finally get parked. I can't. There's nothing. So now we got to make about a 500-yard walk from the car to the front gate. Problem is, we bought tickets ahead of time, and they were at will call. So we had to go through that whole process to get into the park before I could even get to a bathroom. I got about 100 yards from the front entrance, okay, and this is no lie. So here's the entrance, and over here's a tree line, about 20 feet deep. I made a run for the tree line because I wasn't going to make it through the gates. So here I am. Now I'm Joe Tourist. I got like yellow shorts, pink shirt, and I'm bombing into the tree line. As I'm getting into the tree line, I'm kicking my shoes off, getting my shorts out of the way. Thank God there was a palm tree kind of laid down like this, so I was able to kind of utilize that. So as that was going on, I'm looking out and I'm seeing people literally walking 20, 30 feet over here on a walkway. And I'm like, man, I'm going to get arrested. This is going to be how I go down. Local man arrested at Disneyland for crapping in the woods. So I do my thing, right? And then I slowly realize, in my haste to get into the tree line, I got a shoe over here. I got shorts over here. My underwear's over here. I got to finish the process. So I had to look around. I found a stick. So I got a stick, and I'm retrieving all my stuff, right? Meanwhile, people are walking by with their families. So I'm retrieving the stuff. I finally did my thing and got inside. Needless to say, I spent the day at Disneyland with no underwear, if you can imagine. So kind of a funny anecdotal story, but it's horrific because of what it does to you. And it rules your every day because you literally have to plan it out. So when I started taking this CBD oil, I really had no idea what was going to happen. But here's what I can tell you, okay? Yeah. In the morning time, I've been at the same job 7 years, never had a sick day. But every morning, 4 things happen. I would hit the alarm button. I'd hit the snooze button until I couldn't hit it no longer. Then I would lay there for about 5 minutes and think of any way I could not to go to work today. Then I would get up and I would use the bathroom 2 or 3 times, get in my car, make the 32-minute drive to work, and immediately go in the bathroom and use the bathroom. Since we've started taking the CBD oil, there's not been a single day since then, from day one, that I've had to use the bathroom at work. Now, if you were to ask my coworkers about that, they will tell you that it was like a running joke because they knew that when I got to work was not when I was going to start work. Okay, that didn't start until after I used the bathroom. So for me, that's a physical manifestation that I know I'm not the only one that has that happen to it. And while I'm telling you about it, the other thing that has happened to me is my whole entire life, I've had this dry patch of skin on my right hand, like as long as I can remember.
It
right?
looked like dead, black, scaly.
Yeah, and